So I'm going to be installing the this Narva LED Lightbar, which is integrated into the bull bar of this Mitsubishi Outlander. We've already installed the bull bar and the light bar into the bull bar, and now we're going to complete the wiring for it. So I've got the three wires from the light bar. There's a yellow, a red, and a black. Basically, the yellow is for the signal from the um, high beam from the car, and that commands the light to actually turn on. And the red's for power, and the black is for ground. And what I'm going to do in this car is install a unit. It's called a BCI unit, which gets the signal behind the dash for the high beam signal, and that's going to go to the output from that BCI unit is going to go into that yellow wire, which will turn on the uh, the light bar when the high beam is turned on, as per the ADR rules. All right, so strip the wires back on the light bar wire, and I'm going to add so I'm going to crimp some connectors onto it, the male connectors, which got, sorry, the female plug onto that. And then I'm going to add a connector, a Carroll plug. That's all we had available at the time. And then I'm also going to insulate the wire with split tube so that it's protected from all the elements. So I'm preparing some fuses and relays for this part of the install. I've actually got three accessories all up that I'm installing in this car. One's for the light bar, and then I've also got two for the Minebar that I've installed on top of the car, which is for a beacon, a flashing beacon, and also two work lights. So all up, I've got three relays and three fuses. And it's just, I've worked out that it's just neater if we put it on a bracket under the engine bay. So I had to extend these inline fuses with some extra wire so that they will actually reach to the battery, because I'm connecting these directly to the starter battery of the car. And I've also had to extend them to so that they'll actually reach the relays. So that's, I've actually joined them by soldering them. Extra wire, which is we only had 6mm wire, so I had to solder a 6mm wire onto that and to the battery, and then on the other side going to the relay I used 4mm wire. In this part I'm actually making some ground cables. The one cable on the outside is for the ground for each of the relays. So I've actually made one thick cable from 6mm, and I've joined three 4mm cables to that one 6mm cable, and I've crimped on three connectors, spade connectors that will go into each relay. And I've also got in the wire in the center, that's a 4mm wire, and that will actually be the ground for the light bar. And these, I've added, crimped on some ring terminals, and those will actually go to the factory ground point under the engine bay. Each of the fuses that I'm going to be installed, they've been extended. I've got a ring terminal on each one, and that's going to connect directly to the starter battery terminal on the positive side. I've got a 10 amp fuse in each fuse holder, and they've all been insulated with split tube and heat shrink, and these wires will actually go to the relays. Inside the car, I've actually run two cables from the engine bay to the driver's side of the car. So I've got a 7-core wire, 7-core 3mm wire going from the engine bay to the driver's side part of the car, and I've also got a 3-core 3mm wire coming to the same place. And I've actually run those through the grommet in past the starter battery into the car, and zip tied those wires to the factory loom at the back of the dash. And I've actually had to remove part of the dash to be able to properly install this and run those wires. As part of the install, I've had to take out the speedometer, and I've actually had to install this unit. It's called a BCI interface unit, and basically what it does is it connects to the high-speed CAN wires of the car, and it's able to get the high beam signal from the car's computer, and it actually outputs that signal so that we can tell the light bar to turn on when the high beam function is turned on inside the car. And the instructions state that you need to get the CAN high speed and the CAN low high speed signal from certain pins at the back of the connector on the speedo, and you also get power from the OBD port, pin 4 for ground and pin 16 for power, and that's what the instructions state. They also state that you need to add a 3 amp fuse so that the BCI unit is protected. Okay, so I've had to install this BCI unit into the back of the dash here, and that gets the high beam signal for the light bar in the front, and I've got the output of that going to the light, which tells it when the high beam's on, so it's ADR compatible. And I've also got a switch here. You can switch the light on and off from there, and you can switch it on and off with using the high beam signal. That's light bar on, light bar off. So I've got the light bar on right now, and I can switch it on and off using the switch too. That's the light bar working. Got a relay also installed the Minebar on top with LED Worklights. and the indicators. Light bar working. My relays. And I'll turn them off. Okay. Off. And the light bar and the work lights are off.